Hello, hello, happy Friday night. It's your old buddy, your old pal Steve Merlo. Yes, it's the Merman. Here on a Friday night, coming at you live from my beautiful, beautiful place, bedroom. I hope you guys are all well. I know I don't do this very often anymore, so I'm trying to get back onto doing it. But it's just I'm a busy dude, so hope you guys can bear with me. But I'm gonna try my best to do this more often. So I do actually miss doing it, believe it or not. I do. It's just been busy. Hey, I'm a busy guy. Drayton Sawyer made it into the chat. I made it for once. There you go. You're the first one here. If anybody else is in the chat, say hi. Feel free to say hi. Make sure to... There's our buddy Pupadas. Pupadas, how you doing? New promotion, Vintage Films. Glad you made it. There you go. Woohoo. You are here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Could be a small crowd tonight. I'm not sure. I didn't see a lot of people saying they could make it tonight, so we'll see. We might have a small... It is Friday night, right? You guys want to party it up. If you guys want to fire it up, you go fire it up. Unfortunately, though, Friday nights might be my best night for doing this show, just due to kids and school, all that fun stuff. You know how it is. Schedules, people, schedules. But if I have one person in the chat, I'm happy. It's good enough for me. But yeah, it's going to be hard for me going forward to do different days because of my kids' school and bedtimes for little campers. Speaking of campers, we got a camping movie we're going to talk about tonight. But first, we got all kinds of shout outs we want to do first here. Actually a lot of shout outs to do tonight. So let's start with the Indiegogo stuff that's going on right now. Hey, there's our buddy Aaron Johnson. Hey, Aaron. King Dime Zach, thank you for tuning in. There's two big Indiegogos I'm supporting that I want to let you guys know about. In case you don't know, Scream Dream is the first one. The links are in the description, by the way, guys. I think they're the first links for the Indiegogo. Scream Dream is by Adam Freeman. It's a remake of the 1989 classic horror film of the same name. Very awesome classic 80s stuff. Hey, we're getting a few more people here. Awesome. I'll talk to you, say hi in just a sec after I announce this stuff. So, links to Scream Dream is in the description. They are in demand, so they're just, going for stretch goals at this time. So, but support if you can. If you like 80s classic horror movies like this one, the remake is going to be awesome by Adam Freeman. Our good buddy Adam Freeman. And then my other good friend, Cindy Sanabria, is doing this awesome Christmas horror film, Merciless Christmas. She's got an Indiegogo campaign running right now as well. I believe they're past the halfway point in funding. They've passed 50%, but they've only got about 9 days left, I think. So go on over and support. If you like Christmas horror like I do, of course, Black Christmas is one of my all-time favorite horror films. So yeah, I mean, if this is going to be anything like that, it's going to be good. You know that. It sounds cool. Very cool poster. I really like the poster. So check that out. And we got a couple new chatters here. After Aaron came in, we've got Mask Ranger 38 and A&B horror movies. Hey, that's Aaron and Ben. I've been on your show twice now, I think. I'm getting mixed up. And there's our buddy Lazy Reviewer, Carlos, the Lazy Reviewer. I haven't seen many of your reviews lately. I'm going to have to go back to your channel and check some out. Are they all lazy? Are all your reviews lazy? I have to see how they review. Is it like, this film's pretty good, go check it out? That would be a lazy review, just saying. That's my opinion. I'm not a reviewer, though. So, another good lazy review. This movie, man, wasn't too happening. I would pass. That's a pretty lazy review right there. See? Did both ways. One that you like, one, you got to be able to balance them. You can't just review only movies you like. You have to do some movies you don't like too. Sometimes. If you're a reviewer. Excuse me. Itchy eye. It's allergy season. I get the itchy eyes, and I take allergy medication, but, it doesn't fully get rid of the allergies. Yeah. Anywho, more stuff to talk about here. What was I going to talk about here? Yes, that's right. We got to thank our sponsor, our awesome sponsor, Joe from More Sense Designs. Awesome killer work that he does. He's done for me. He's done for Michelle Blasky of the Third Channel. Let's see if we can find some of his work. Look at this. All of the work he did for the Third Channel and the SAWYER Massacre are pretty awesome stuff. And he's done some new work for me. You've probably seen. Let me see. I got the posters here somewhere. I think I do. Sorry guys, I'm scrolling through a schwack of stuff here and I don't see what I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. For our new film Unseen, he did these 2 posters as well. Pretty awesome stuff he does. Man, he does great stuff. And by the way, if you're not following Unseen on Instagram or Facebook, make sure you do. I think the links to those they're in the description. I think I put them in. I could be wrong. There's a lot of links in the description, folks. Tonight might be one of the busiest days as far as that goes. A lot of links in the description. A lot of people to plug. But yeah, Joe from More Sense Designs is awesome. He's done amazing work for me for the last couple of years. And amazing work for Michelle Blasky, who's another person we're going to shout out. We got a lot of shout outs tonight. What can I say? So many shout outs. Oh, man. I've got so many things in here. I can't keep track of all of them. We'll first give a shout out to Michelle Appollonia of Breathless Beauties. If you love horror-themed dolls, she does amazing work. There's the crow. There's our buddy Leatherface. Her links are in the description. She's based out of Syracuse, New York. And free shipping within the U.S., guys. Free shipping within the U.S. I kind of miss seeing her in here. We used to see her in here quite often. And then I don't know what happened. I guess she got busy. I don't know where she is. I hope she's okay. I'm sure she is. I'm sure it would have hurt something if she wasn't. But we miss her. I'm missing her in the chat here. But we got the other Michelle. I don't know where she is tonight. Michelle Blasky of Miss 44 has really cool obscure art that she does. Love it. Her links are in the description for Redbubble, and there's a Facebook page as well, I believe. There you go. All right. Oh, Trinity Chase is in the chat. Hey, Trinity. Glad you made it. Trinity Chase. We're going to talk about Trinity in a sec here. A little bit late. Oh, well, since I don't know how late Trinity can stay in the chat, but if you've been following our social media for Unseen, the next film I've got in the works, Trinity is cast as the lead role of Crystal in our film. So, woohoo, Trinity! Yay, Trinity! Trinity's awesome. We went through a lot of auditions to find this young gal, just so you guys know, and it was not easy. We spent our time. We spent some time doing it, and we wrestled back and forth. And that was me and the producers from Twitch Productions. We really, went back and forth. Made everybody do a couple made 3 actors do a couple of auditions, and finally came to Trinity's and said she's our gal, and there you go. I don't know if I put that very well, but we also going to reveal this for the first time tonight. More work from the great Joe Lawrence of More Sense Designs. And thank you, Trinity, for participating in this. We got another new poster we're revealing for Unseen. And that actually features Trinity on it. Here is the latest poster for Unseen. And this was done by Joe, and we just had a we had a number of pictures that Trinity sent us, and this is what Joe the one that Joe chose to make a poster with, and I think it looks pretty creepy. You see the shadowed hand over her face. Yeah, I think it looks great. Just more great artwork from Joe. He's awesome. I don't know if we're going to have all of these posters available or not. Probably. May as well give people their choice, since we've got them made, so we might as well sell them. Probably through Indiegogo. We're probably going to be launching an Indiegogo, guys, and I'm looking at probably mid-May, so not that far away. We're getting pretty close to having all of our ducks in a row as far as promo material goes. We're working on the promotional teaser right now. It's been shot, it's been filmed, and we should have that ready pretty soon. In fact, it's been cut. For the most part, I might make a few little slight changes on the cut, but it's been cut, and we're adding sound to it. So lots in the works. I hope you like psychological horror, because that's exactly what this is. You know, it's Black Christmas meets Halloween, guys. So hopefully, if you like those two movies, you'll love Unseen. Unless, of course, you think we're just copying those two movies. Well, I mean, isn't everything just didn't Halloween really copy Black Christmas kind of a little bit to a point? I don't know. I don't know. That's debatable, right? Anywho, did we get more chatters? Oh, thanks, Trinity. Amazing poster. I also have edited one poster. I have seen that, Pupadas. I've seen that. So there you go. And Audra Chase, I'm guessing you're related to Trinity. Thank you for joining the chat as well. I do agree, it looks very cool. Trinity said, "Whoa, that looks so cool." That's awesome. There you go. I think I've got out everything I needed to shout out. I think so. I don't want to miss anybody. I knew I had a lot of stuff I wanted to give shout outs to tonight. I can give more shout outs if you want, but we may as well get chatting about some movie stuff. I don't think I have anything else I need to shout out. I should have written it all down. I never write stuff down anymore. I'm getting older. I need to do that as I get older. You know. I can shout this out. Here's something I can shout out. I don't know where our buddy John is from Behind the Fiends, but he's got his store. We got the link to his store in the description of this live stream tonight, and you can buy SAWYER Massacre t-shirts. Our collaboration with Behind the Fiends, pretty cool. So yeah, go check those out. And I think that's about all I have to say. Oh, go check out Valentine Bluffs if you get a chance. Our good friend Thomas Smith made that movie, and I'm gonna say this now because I may as well. It's pretty much, we've pretty much confirmed it. Thomas Smith is going to be doing the SFX for Unseen. Thomas Smith is coming all the way from Pennsylvania, I think, to do the SFX for Unseen. We've chatted. He really wants to do it. So Sick and Twisted Effects will be involved with Unseen. So that's pretty cool. I was very excited that he wanted to be a part of it. And, I told him, what kind of effects we're looking for. And he was like, I'm totally down. He really wants to do it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have Sick and Twisted Effects on board. If you've seen Valentine Bluffs, you know what he can do. If you've seen any of his work, you know what he can do. He's pretty awesome. So just look at his social media. Look at the social media for Sick and Twisted Effects, and you'll see what he can do. He's pretty awesome. So there you go. All right. That's enough shout outs for the night, I think. And shout out once again to Trinity Chase. Thank you for joining the chat. Our Crystal, we're going to get you on my live stream one of these days. I think so. We got to do an interview. I think so. I hope if you're up for it, we'll see. If you are up for it, I'd love to have you on and do a little bit of chat, and we can help promote the movie. There you go. Cool. So tonight we're talking about the 1980s classic, The Burning. Okay, and you can't talk just about this film. And this was a request, by the way. Somebody wanted me to. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who requested this. But I'll just say it was a special request to talk about this. But you can't talk just about The Burning, because this was an era of the 80s where a new genre was really coming into its own. And it's sort of the slasher, campy. Friday the 13th is really the one that really kicked off this style of campy horror and gets the most credit, obviously. I mean, geez, how many Friday the 13th movies are there, even though they haven't made any films for quite a while now, you know? But, you know, The Burning, to me, it is the quintessential 80s campy slasher horror film. It's got everything that a campy slasher horror film should have. Now, whether it's better than Friday the 13th or Friday the 13th better than that, I mean, that is something, I mean, personally, I probably enjoy watching The Burning more, but Friday the 13th is maybe a slightly better movie. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of things to talk about with The Burning. I mean, it really does have all the 80s tropes, I guess you could say, that became very, very popular. And I guess, you know, this was when it was starting to become popular. A lot of these tropes, you know, you've got, you're set at a camp and there's a lot of kids and camp counselors, and, you know, there is nudity, guys. There is nudity in this one. There's a campfire scene where, you know, the camp counselor is telling the story of the killer in this movie. And it's just got all those elements that, you know, are now totally cliche, but at the time it was like, this is what makes these types of films, you know. So it really has, it has good acting and it has bad acting, and I think pretty much every 80s campy horror film has to have at least a little bit of bad acting in it. I would say primarily, who are the worst actors in this film? The guy that played the dweeby kid, Albert, he was pretty bad. And the prostitute at the beginning, she was even worse, I think. Thank God she wasn't in the movie for long. But aside from that, I think most of the actors were pretty. You could tell they I mean, no Oscar-winning performances or anything in it, but they're solid. They could hold their own and did pretty well for the most part. And young performances by both Jason Alexander and what's the other guy's name? I'm gonna have to look that up now. I'm gonna remember as soon as I look at. I should have wrote this stuff down. Steve, write this stuff down. Let me write The Burning. I'm going to know his name as soon as I see it. You guys are going to beat me to it in the chat, aren't you? It's a guy that got his fingers cut off. What's his name? That's not him. Fisher Stevens. Jesus. Did you guys beat me? You guys beat me, didn't you? I don't see it. Nobody else but Fisher Stevens. Fisher Stevens, who was in like Short Circuit and films like that. Yeah. So very young performances by those guys. Jason Alexander, way before Seinfeld. Like, I think Seinfeld came out in 1989, I believe was the first season of Seinfeld. And, excuse me here, open that back up. And he has hair in this movie. Is it really his hair, though? Somebody in the chat, let me know if that's actually Jason Alexander's hair before he lost it, or was it? I'm saying this because simply this: there's a few scenes where it looks like a toupee. It probably not. It's probably my eyes playing tricks on me. It's probably my eyes playing tricks on me, guys. But there's a few scenes where I'm like, that kind of looks toupee-ish. You know, when he's in the water and I don't know. I don't know. You'd think it'd at least be a little bit more thinned out. Anyways, what are you guys saying in the chat? Trinity says, "Oh yeah, I'll be there." Okay, we'll set up a time for you to come on the channel and do a little chat, live stream and interview sort of thing. I don't know, just a fun chat about horror, maybe. I don't know. Drayton Sawyer, I remember The Burning. Haven't seen it in years, so yeah, I just rewatched it yesterday. I rewatched it yesterday. Hadn't seen it for about, I want to say, a good 6 years at least a good 6 years. So it had been a while. It's not a film I've seen a ton, to be honest with you. And I actually really kind of enjoy the movie for what it is. I mean, it's definitely not one of my favorite horror films of all time. Mostly because I'm not. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just it's. I really like the more serious stuff, and this is a campy horror film. And yes, there are some serious moments, but at the same time, there's not a moment. I don't feel like there's a moment in this film where you can really take it seriously. It's a fun kind of summer camp type film, and it's got the nudity, it's got the gore, it's got the cheesy lines, it's got the cheesy dialogue, cheesy acting. It's a fun movie. It's a very fun movie, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, but still, it builds good characters. You like the characters in the movie, for the most part, and it's got your typical cliche characters as well. Like what's the guy's name now? I'm already forgetting all their names. Glazer, the guy who played Glazer. Yeah, Glazer's your macho kind of bully, arsehole kind of guy, and every one of those movies back then had that type of character. So you had your cliche type characters, and you had your dweeb, who was Albert, and it's just very typical for that time period. A lot of films came out that were like that at that time, but this one was better than, I would say it was better than a lot of them. Funny enough, I remember when I did last see this, I actually looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes, and I haven't looked at it up since then. But back then, was, like I said, 6 or 7 years ago, it actually had 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, whoa, yeah, it's a decent film, but I wouldn't think 100%. I don't know what it's at now. It probably just hadn't. It's probably one of those movies that kind of slipped through the radar for Rotten Tomatoes, and not many people had reviewed it at that time. So I imagine that rating will change. But yes, Tom Savini did the SFX, probably one of his earlier SFX movies, probably one of them anyways. I don't know if it's definitely not his first, but it would probably be one of his earlier ones for sure. And he did a great job. Again, Tom Savini was pretty much the guy that really invented gore, really, like how to do it well, at least anyways. So, I mean, back in the 70s, you didn't see a lot of gore. I mean, you saw a little bit of gore, but when Tom Savini really kind of, hit the map, he was making gore. He was really taking it to a whole nother level. He really was. So, I couldn't think of another SFX artist from that time period, from back in the 80s that was doing what Tom Savini was doing. There probably is that I just don't know about. I mean, it's not something I research a lot of. Who did the best SFX in the 80s? But, always first comes to mind is Tom Savini. So, one thing, though, Tom Savini is a great person to work on this film. Shouldn't ignore this, though. There's a not so great person that worked on this film, too. And maybe some of you know who I'm talking about. In recent years, we've heard quite a lot about this person. He's in jail now. But Harvey Weinstein had a lot to do with this film. Had a lot to do with The Burning. So, don't hate the film. Hate the guy, but don't hate the film. It is still a decent movie for what it is, and Harvey Weinstein did have some involvement. I believe he even helped write the story or something. So, I mean, it's not like you're going to look at the writing for something like this and say, boy, it's genius. I mean, it's got good characters. I would say more than anything else, The Burning has great characters. It doesn't have anything in it, though, that's mind-blowing as far as writing goes. It doesn't, there's not a lot of theories you could make out of it. I'm sure there's some. That'll be a kind of a cool challenge for you guys. Who can make up the coolest theory for The Burning? Something that could possibly be true about The Burning, story-wise, but you just didn't know. Just saying. Could be cool. Beauties, one of the most underrated slasher movies of all time. Genuinely creepy, genuinely unsettling, and also quite a few famous names before there. Definitely true. Thanks for keeping my request. Yeah, that was Beauties that requested that I talk about this film. Yeah, I would definitely say it's underrated. And it's probably underrated for the sake of Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th was all, I think at this time, Friday the 13th part 2 had already come out. They were really rolling. Friday the 13th was really growing at this time. And I think the Friday the 13th series kind of overshadowed The Burning, but I think The Burning's kind of gotten a lot more praise in recent years. It's become more of a cult classic. When it came out, I believe it was a flop, was it not? I mean, how could they compete with the Friday the 13th movies? I wonder what it says exactly with the budget and box office, where IMDb is usually pretty good for this kind of stuff. If not, Wikipedia will probably have it. Whether it's true on Wikipedia or not, I don't know. Box office. Budget was $1.5 million. Not a very big budget, even back in those days. It's not a huge, but that's probably equivalent to about $5 million now. Probably. So that's even still not considered a huge budget. How much did it take in? I just see, it doesn't see the, I want to know how much it took. I'm going to have to look at Wikipedia for this, guys. Sorry for that. You guys don't watch this show to watch me scroll the internet. The Burning. That's going to go straight to... I'll get there, guys. I think I heard it was a flop, though. Even though it only had $1.5 million budget. I don't think it made a lot. Box office, 707,000. Yeah, so it only made under $1 million, made only about half, not even half its budget back. And that's, doesn't include marketing and stuff like that. Hopefully it's a movie that has, gained a little bit of revenue since then. But again, at the same time, I'm sure every dollar it does make, Harvey Weinstein's probably getting some. But he's in jail, right? I don't know how long he's going to be in jail for, but yeah. Anyways, Drayton Sawyer, I met Tom Savini last year. Not too friendly, honestly. Well, not every celebrity, not every horror celebrity is going to be friendly. That's just a fact, guys. I never met him. I won't say anything bad about the guy. He's a great SFX artist, great makeup artist. But you work in this industry long enough, you develop an ego, and a name like Tom Savini is probably going to end up with a bit of an ego. But I don't know. Could have just been a bad night for him too. Who knows? He could be the nicest guy in the world and Jared, you just may have caught him on a bad day. We all have bad days. I know I do. New promotion, vintage film. This is something I wanted to touch on a little bit too. I think someone should make a feature-length fan film on The Burning. Now that's possible. Not by me. Not gonna be me, guys. But I'm sure there must be fan films out there for The Burning. You'd think there'd be something. Hey, there's our buddy Jason Nike from Backtrack Cinema. Hey, Jason, thank you for stopping by. Have you seen The Burning? We're talking about The Burning. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you love 80s horror films. You must have seen The Burning. George Costanza, before he was George Costanza. Fisher Stevens from the Short Circuit movies, 1 and 2. Oh, yeah. What else was Fisher Stevens in? I'm going to Google that now. I'm getting Google crazy tonight, guys. Sorry. He's going to Google something again. But I'm still on... he played Woodstock. Fisher Stevens. Why won't that click? What else has he been in that I would know? He was in Hackers. He was in the 90s Super Mario Brothers. There's a new Super Mario Brothers that came out. Anyways, yeah, he's been in a few things. He was in an episode of The Blacklist. I feel like there's something else I know him from. Feel like there is, but I'm probably wrong. I don't know. Could be somebody else I'm thinking of. Nope. Hackers. Episode of Friends. That's not what I'm thinking of. My Science Project. I remember that movie. He was in that too. Okay. I have to rewatch that one. Huh. Oh, The Marrying Man. Yeah, I remember that movie too. Haven't seen a lot of them in ages. So there's a bunch from the 80s and early 90s that he was in that I've seen. Haven't seen in a long, long time, but I've seen them. There you go. Yes, so are there any fan films out there for The Burning? Probably not feature length, but yes, I like it for what it is. You can tell Weinstein wrote it though. Yeah. Okay. He co-wrote it, I think. It was co-wrote from what I saw. Co-wrote it. But yeah. I mean, yeah, you could tell. The guy's a scumbag. We've covered that already. Enough about Weinstein. But hey, it's an 80s classic now. But hey, at the same time, remember this. This movie lost money, so that means he lost money. Right? I think that's how it works. I think so. He got a lot of money on a lot of other stuff, though. Made a lot of money, that guy. But he's in jail now, so that's all behind us. Let's talk about the killer in the movie for a bit, okay? So the killer's name is Cropsey. He doesn't have a first name. He's just Cropsey. Kind of a cool idea for a killer. A guy who's been burned until to within an inch of his life, pretty much, and comes back and seeks revenge on those who burned him. Yeah, it's kind of cool. You'd think he would, again, if they would have made sequels or whatever to this movie, maybe there would be a chance for him to be like the next Freddy, or, well, I guess this would be before Freddy, actually. So Freddy or Jason, whatever. But I say Freddy because Freddy was a burn victim as well. But yeah, could this character have achieved horror icon status if it was more popular at the time, if it wasn't a box office flop, if they had gone on to do sequels? Do you guys think that the killer, Cropsey, with his garden shears, I like the garden shears too. I think it's his weapon of choice, the garden shears. And that was established in the campfire tale about the guy too, that, So I don't know. I do like him. I think there probably needs to be a little bit more depth to the character, but it's not bad. I mean, He could have been the next Jason. Could have. Again, this was just when Jason was really starting to take off. Kind of a cool character, though. If Cropsey would have come out today, it's hard to say. If they would have made this movie today, who knows? I don't know. That's hard to say whether he could have reached icon status. We'll say that. What do you guys think? I mean, he's not going to be on your Mount Rushmore of horror characters, but you know what level of horror is he? He's not Jason, obviously. And I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Jason fan, but you know, all the Friday 13th people can throw all the pies at me all you want. It's all good. But you know, I can recognize Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy. They're like your top tier. And then, you know, in the middle, we've got like Pinhead and Leatherface, and, you know, and then down below, we've got like Jigsaw. And, you know, does Cropsey fit anywhere on that list, or is he like too low to be there? I don't know. Very cool and inventive signature weapon for a slasher kill. Yeah, the movie definitely needs a remake of some kind. Yeah, I was going to talk about that next, actually. This, in my opinion, I do think that The Burning is probably a perfect candidate for a remake. Now, could it be good? Well, I mean, it could be good for sure. I mean, anything could be good. It could also be pretty bad, though, too. So there is always that risk. But I do feel like there's enough good in this film to potentially expand in a remake or a sequel. I mean, you can do a sequel, but at the same time, for this, I think a remake. For this film, I would say a remake. There's potential. There's enough good in the film that warrant, you know, exploring a little bit. And there's enough bad in the film that we want to, you know, get rid of that bad and, you know, explore it beyond that a little bit. I personally think this is a better candidate for a remake rather than a sequel. This is the kind of film that I would have chosen to remake this over a lot of other films that have been remade. I'll say that. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to be good. I mean, you give the property to the wrong people, and they're going to make something pretty bad, you know. But there was no point in remaking A Nightmare on Elm Street. There was no point in remaking Halloween. There was no point in those remakes because you knew that they could never be as good as the originals, no matter what. Even though the originals aren't perfect in those films, but they're so unique. They have so much of their own atmosphere that surrounding them. You can never top that. I don't think you could ever top that. So it seems kind of meaningless to remake films like that. Whereas a movie like The Burning or similar ones to it that have a cult following, because I mean, let's face it, The Burning's got a pretty decent cult following now. You know, you asked me 20, 25 years ago if he would have said, "Hey, Steve, you like The Burning?" I'd have been like, well, Burning, what? You know, I wouldn't have known. I probably saw The Burning for the first time like 12, 13, 14 years ago. About there, I think. It wasn't that long ago. How was it? The 2000s. It probably it could have been up to 15 years ago, right? So it was maybe 15 years ago. But I didn't see it in the 80s. I didn't even see it in the 90s. You know, so it was one of those movies that kind of flew under everybody's radar, even though it totally fits with all the campy 80s horror films. It's got all the elements of what you need for a campy 80s horror film, It's got the right characters for it. Like I've been through the list already. It's got the nudity. It's got the campfire stories. It's got it's got all of that stuff. It's got the suspense. The jump scares, all that stuff. Hey, there's our buddy Joe from Fangoria Faithful. How you doing, man? Good to see you again, Burning, eh? Awesome flip, man. It's a classic. It is a classic, but again, we're talking about when it came out, it was a flop. It was a massive flop. It's just one of those films that kind of gradually gained a cult following. Yeah, and I'm sure that people like George Costanza, Fisher Stevens, want that movie buried. But you know what? Jason Alexander was not bad in The Burning. He was pretty good. I mean, it's not. You're not going to look at it and say, hey, he was amazing or anything like that, but it was solid, Not going to win any awards for your performance in The Burning, though. Just saying. First time I saw The Burning was probably 2006, 2007. Yeah, I mean, probably around there, too. Around there was the first time, and then I saw it again. I watched it again I was living here. I was living here when I saw it again. So I've lived here for just over 8 years. So it's at least, 2014, 2015 maybe, or 2016. So 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know. It's been, and that's it. I've only seen it 3 times now. I just rewatched it yesterday, and there you go. It's not a film I've seen a lot. I don't typically watch a lot of these films that often, though. Not the 80s campy, not the campy 80s stuff. I've seen Friday the 13th a little more. I've probably seen the first Friday the 13th like 5 times. Probably. I would say 5 times. All the sequels and stuff. I think I've seen Friday the 13th Part 2 twice, and all the other ones once, or one-time watches only for me personally, And there's a couple I still haven't even seen, I think, of Friday the 13th. So yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't watch a lot of the 80s horror that often. I think the one 80s horror film I've watched the most is probably Child's Play. I've probably seen that a good dozen times. I love it. I love Child's Play. I love Child's Play. For whatever reason, I love Child's Play. But yeah, Evil Dead, all the Chopping Mall. I've seen Evil Dead twice, I think, and seen the other ones once each. Evil Dead was kind of neat. But I don't really care for the sequel. I don't care for it, but Anyways, yeah. So, what do you guys think? Should is this movie due for a remake? I'm game for it. I'm personally game for it. I'd like to see a remake. Get a good writer behind it. Write something interesting. Throw a bit of a mindfuck in there for you. Throw a little bit of a mindfuck. A twist of some kind. There was no twist in The Burning, and I think it needed that. I think if it would have had that twist, I think that's what made Friday the 13th stand out a little bit more. The original Friday the 13th. Nobody expected Pamela Voorhees to be the killer at the end. I don't think anybody. I certainly didn't. I didn't expect it to be a woman. I think that was kind of the shocking, that nobody expected to be this older woman. Seemed very sweet, and I didn't expect it at the time, so I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, so it needed a bit of a twist. Give it a bit of a twist. Somebody write a good twist, and I think you could have a good remake for this film. That's my thoughts. What do you guys think? Hey, there's our buddy John. Hey, John. I did give you a shout out, by the way. I gave John a shout out. Well, it's kind of a double shout out. Shout out to your store and the Behind the Fiends tees of the Sawyer Massacre on there. All good, man. All good. Have fun at work. Thanks, homie. Yeah, go to that store. It's in the description. Links in the description. And it doesn't just have Sawyer Massacre merch. He's got other stuff too, right? You got other stuff in there, right? He's got lots. He's a merch guy. Here you go. Joe said, yeah, but she had hairy knuckles when she got chopped. Oh, who are we talking about now? I missed something. Chucky was great in the theater. That's where you gotta watch them. Yeah, I never watched it. I was too young. I was like 8 when Child's Play came out. There's no way my parents were gonna let me watch that. Yeah, but she had hairy knuckles when she got chopped. Who are we talking about now? I feel like I missed something. Did I miss something? Oh, Mrs. Voorhees. I mean, oh, okay. Yes, she did. Weird, huh? Anyways, hey, some women are hairy though. Just saying. Anyways, that's my discussion about The Burning. You guys can comment about it a little more in the chat if you'd like, but I think that's all I really want to say about it. It is, I would call it an underrated 80s gem. I'd probably put this above a lot of other 80s campy films. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of the quintessential one in my opinion. It's kind of, it's got all the elements that you look for in a campy horror film. Sure, Friday the 13th is probably a little better of a film. Again, it's got the twist. I think that's what does it. But, other than that, though, I mean, I think I have a easier time watching. Like, I don't know, the original Friday the 13th kind of drags a little bit in points. You know what I mean? Not too much, but, I didn't find The Burning drag too much. So, yeah. Anyways. Truly Cropsey, in my opinion, is the most original and human slasher movie villain ever. Well, he is human, but he's got a bit of an inhuman element to survive that burn, that massive burn. I don't know. That's subjective. I don't know. It's got pretty burnt up. That's for sure. It was pretty damn burnt, unrecognizable. Does anybody know if it was the same actor that played him at the beginning of the movie and in the makeup doing the killing? I wonder if it says that on. I'm totally going crazy with IMDb right now. Lou David Cropsey. That's the only person listed as Cropsey, so I'm guessing so. Yeah. That must be the same dude that was in it at the very beginning. So he was Cropsey all the way through the movie. As far as I can see. I mean, you never know, but as far as I can see. Anyways. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing here. I think that's going to be behind. There we go. Anywho, moving along there, folks. Hope you guys are having a good night. Having a great time here. Friday night with Steve, your old buddy, your old pal. I got some cool stuff to show you with Unseen, the next film I'm working on. Next film I'll be making. We shared some stuff earlier. Once again, because I know some of you guys weren't here at that time. We got this new poster that we're going to be unleashing to the rest of the world that features our female lead, Trinity Chase, as Crystal. Pretty cool poster done by Joe. Thank you, Joe, for the awesome artwork. But we also got a few behind the Fiends. Behind the Fiends. John, you're killing me for this. I can't help but say behind the Fiends now. Behind the scenes. I should just say BTS. Because we shot a promotional... shot footage for a promotional teaser last Sunday. I took a few little snaps during the shoot. So I tried to take pictures of stuff that wouldn't spoil things too much. But you might get little glimpses of stuff you might end up seeing in the teaser to a point. Again, these are from my phone. They're not from the camera that we shot on. They're just little snippets from my phone. So they're not going to have any real substance to them. But I will show you guys some behind the BTS shots. Oh, man. You should watch Blood Rage next. Have I seen that one? I'm not sure. See, it grows on you. It does. Now I'm going to always say behind the Fiends instead of behind the scenes. Damn you. What am I going to do with you, John? That'll never leave. Now, you could change the name of your podcast, and I'll still say behind the Fiends. Whenever I say behind the scenes, it's just like second nature now. But I do hope you guys are all enjoying seeing some of the stuff we've released for Unseen. We have been updating the cast. Before I get into this with these BTS, before I start showing any of the BTS stuff, and we'll save some time for some questions at the end if you guys are up for it. If you guys have any questions about anything, you guys can ask me about anything. But before I get into that, even I should let you guys know we are in talks. Somebody pretty big to be in our film. We're in talks. I'm not gonna count my chickens before they've hatched, though. Until I see a signed document that says I intend to be in this film, I'm not going to say anything. But we're in talk. I've spoke to the person personally myself. I'll just say that. But I don't have anything signed yet. I won't say who until I can guarantee it. Just saying. Actually, I mean, we've actually got a couple people that might, a couple semi-famous people, famous, semi-famous people you guys would know that I think we'll be able to get attached to Unseen. I think so. So we'll see. Working on it, guys. I really hope it goes through. I think it'll make funding easier for me. I hope so. I'll be honest, guys. If I'm being totally honest with you guys, I would like to shoot this on 6 figures. I'd love to have 6 figures to shoot this with. Not that I won't shoot it off of like 20 grand. I might. Will it be a feature? Well, we'll see. 20, we can make something for sure. But I would personally like to see 6 figures in our budget, just to make things easier, and so we don't have to shoot in 9 days. That's actually the biggest thing for me. I don't want to have to shoot in 9 days. But when you shoot in more days, your expenses go up because you got to pay everybody, right? So that's kind of the biggest thing, your labor of everybody, because people don't work for free. I mean, some people do. Is it Ed Neal? No, it's not. I've established 100% that he's SAG, and I no willingness to go FICOR. So it's not Ed Neal. It's not anybody who's SAG. No, I will confirm it's definitely not Ed Neal. 100%. Oh man. You haven't added me yet. What does that mean? Damn. Did I miss something again? I feel I got to go back on the chat again. You can use it part of the fam. Yeah, I know. Behind the Fiends we're talking about there, right? I feel a drinking game here. Every time Steve says behind the Fiends, take a shot. Oh man, you guys would be hammered by now. You haven't added me yet. I don't know what he means by that. Oh, to the cast. Added you to the cast. Well, you coming down from Hawaii? That's kind of another tricky thing I'm working with because we are casting some U.S. actors here, and they all have to be eligible to work in Canada. So I'm going through the paperwork and stuff like that for them to get a temporary work permit. Yeah, lots of fun. It's gonna be fun. I've only actually cast one person from the town I live in, and we used her in our promotional teaser in multiple roles actually. You should make Unseen It as a feature-length film. Oh, I'm pretty sure. I mean, even if we only raise like 20 grand, I'm sure we could probably still make it feature. We'll probably be missing some things. I'll say this: the script is over 80 pages, and if you think about it as a page per minute, a page of script is as a minute, then it should be around 80 something minutes. But these types of films, even the Sawyer Massacre, the Sawyer Massacre was 86 pages, and we cut about 10 pages out, right? And it still ended up being 93 minutes. Mind you, we had a lot of credits too, so I mean, you add credits and stuff like that. Of course, it was really probably 90 minutes, but anyways, still, I find a minute per page is a little off. It's probably like a page and a half per minute, or sorry, a minute and a half per page. I'm all backwards today. It's Friday, right? It's Friday. We're drinking. I'm not drinking. I'm drinking water. Steve, you have derailed. No. Probably a minute and a half per page is what we're probably really looking at. So we're over 80 pages. Even if we had to cut 15 pages out, we're looking at let's just say 65 pages. Say we only shot 65 pages of what is written on the script. I bet that'll still translate into 75 minutes. And that's still feature length. I bet it would. Again, it's a slow burn type of movie. A lot of suspense and all that kind of stuff that we're going to put in this movie. So, yeah, I totally think that that even if we do cut the script down to make it easier to film, it's probably still going to be 75 minutes. And if we shoot the whole thing, it's probably going to be over 100 minutes. But hard to say if we'll shoot the whole thing. I could see us cutting some stuff out. We don't want it to be too long for you folks. But you never know. We'll see. 100 minutes. I'm okay with 100 minutes. Skinamarink was 100 minutes. I loved it. I know it's not for everybody, but I loved it. I loved it. But again, those movies aren't for everybody. Okay. Anyways, yes, I want to let's get onto the BTS for you guys, and then I'll look at your guys' chats after we're done. You guys can ask some questions, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. No big whoop. But here's our first behind the scenes shot taken from my iPhone, which is filming me right now. iPhone 8. Yes, pretty awesome stuff. Hey, what's that? That is a broken vase or vase or whatever you want to call it. Is it vase or vase? I don't know. It's got some blood on it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Very kind of. This was made of clay, so it was like a handcrafted thing. It's kind of artsy. I know. And that's what we're kind of going with a lot of stuff in this movie is kind of some artsy type stuff. I won't say too much about that, but I don't think this will be an overly artsy film. A little bit artsy, but but yeah, it's pretty cool. Some blood on it. And who are these two guys? Oh, that's Paul in front there. He looks very happy, doesn't he? Does he not look happy or what? He's like, get that camera out of my face. Paul was basically DP cam op on the trailer shoot. He's probably going to be main cam, the A cam. We'll call him A cam op on when we shoot the movie. That's the hope, anyways, is that he can do it. He's a busy guy. He does a lot of real estate photography. He shot a lot of the promo stuff for the promo teaser footage for the Sawyer Massacre as well. So he's a guy I can trust, and there's not a lot of people I can trust. And the guy behind him is his roommate Aaron, who also, well, they all kind of work together. He's got two roommates. And actually Marcus, his other roommate, was helping as well, but I didn't get any pictures of him because he was helping later after I was done taking BTS shots. So, yes, that's Paul, and the guy behind him is Aaron. Aaron? Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, I just met him for the first time, so I don't know him real well, but Paul and I go way back. Paul is a good dude. Real good dude. And got some good camera gear. Cameras and camera gear. Oh, yeah. This is our only, still to date, our only Kelowna-based actress. This is Emily Mazes, and she's playing the role of Stacy in our film, which she got to do a little bit of in our teaser, but she was mostly playing other characters. I'll just say that and leave it at that. But she did get to play Stacy for one scene and other characters without showing her face and changing her clothes. She brought like 5 sets of clothes, so it worked out okay. But there you go. Yeah, she's great. She's a real sport. Took some for the team a little bit, not too much, but she was great. Emily did good. And look forward to working with her. I haven't officially announced her on our social media yet. I will be doing that within the next few days, I'm sure. 2 or 3 days. And there's Paul operating the camera rig. That's his camera on a gimbal. So he's using I believe it's a Canon R6 that shoots in 8K. It has 8K capability. We just shot in 4K though because, well, I wanted to save room. I didn't want to have massive files, but we might shoot the feature in 8K just to give us some flexibility. But for this, we just shot it in 4. And it's a pretty cool camera. It's got some decent dynamic range. It's not an ARRI or anything like that, but it's a pretty cool little camera. So yeah, there's just kind of working on a shot. I think that was the tough one. We had one shot that was really tricky for us to get, and I think this was it. I think this was him trying to get the shot. Yeah, you'll see in the trailer. Hey, look who arrived. It's Michelle Blasky. Let me just pop out of here real quick. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Yeah, you missed all the talk about the burning, but we're looking at BTS footage from the recent teaser trailer we just shot. I gave you shout-outs, though. I gave you shout-outs, just so you know. Yeah. You know I'm going to give you shout-outs. Of course I am. Hope you are doing well, though, Michelle, on this wonderful Friday night. Been out of touch lately. I've been so busy. Sorry I've been out of touch. We should catch up. I want to know how the third channel's coming along. I'm not sure if you ever got that extra footage you were looking to shoot or not. I hope so. But we'll talk. We'll talk soon. Where was I? We were looking at that. Oh, we saw that already. We saw this one. So that's Paul setting up a shot. And I think we got one more. Yeah, here we go. One more. And that's Emily Mazes lying down with her hand out on something. And that's all I'll say for that, because, again, can't spoil too much. Michelle says, oh, dang, I missed it. Is it really that good? You can go back and watch the replay. And you're chatting now. You didn't miss the whole thing. You made it just in time to check out some of these BTS shots. And check out the latest poster that Joe made for us that features our lead actress, Trinity Chase, as Crystal in our film, Unseen. Pretty cool. We'll be posting that over the weekend. And yeah, that's it. We'll read some of your chat. You guys can ask some questions now if you like, if you want to. You don't have to, but it's cool when you do. Love the posters, Michelle says. I know. I love everything Joe does. Let's see. Behind the Fiends. You should reach out to my buddy Nancy. Really, I've reached out to her actually. She's a nice gal. But yeah, we'll see if this gal doesn't. We'll see. We'll see. I'll just leave it at that. I know what you're saying. Nancy does seem really nice, and she would probably fit one of the characters. She'd probably fit one of the characters in the movie. Probably. She wouldn't be a bad choice. That's for sure. I can talk to her because I'm trying to work around her con schedule to have her do a Scream watch along with me. Oh, that's cool. Excuse me. Look, if they can make a movie about a bear doing blow and get it in theaters, you can too, sir. Yeah, I know. Look, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And now there's like Crackoon, and I think I saw one of my buddies on Facebook. I can't remember which one is making one called Meth Lab, and it's like lab as in laboratory retriever. So it's a dog. It's a Labrador dog on meth lab. I thought it was hilarious when I saw that. This will be like a new genre of horror right here. Animals on drugs. I love it. I think it's they're making Meth Gator, but okay, Meth Gator, but Meth Lab is cooler because it's you know what I mean. Just saying, they fit. I think it's funny, Crackoon and. Oh man, there's something there though. It's a marketing thing, It's there's definitely marketing behind this type of stuff. So that's where my struggles are obviously going to lie as far as getting into theaters. Now, I'm not saying I won't get my movie into theaters. If I make a damn good film, there's a chance I can get it into theaters. But again, I have to, I really got to network with the right people and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes that's what it takes. I wonder, how did Cocaine Bear do in the theaters as far as box office goes? Kind of curious now. Making Meth Gator, yeah. I bet it turned a profit. Because I doubt it was expensive to make. Let me find out. Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear 2023 film. Does it say anything about box office anywhere? Not great. It really had that high of a budget? Okay, its budget was 30 to 35 million. Ooh. I haven't seen it, so maybe but yeah, wasn't like Ray Liotta in it though? Okay, it makes sense. So I mean, you get somebody like Ray Liotta in your film, and yeah, it's going to be in theaters. It's like his last film. But it made 85.9 million box office. There you go. So it more than doubled. It more than doubled its money. So there you go. That's a decent budget for a horror film. Decent. I think that's around the average budget a horror film gets now, 30 to 35 million. If it's a studio. The indie horror films are like 1 to 5 million. The indie, and then the real indie films are anywhere between 10 grand to 300,000 or so. I don't know. Eduardo Guerrero's in. Hey, man, how you doing? Directed by Elizabeth Banks. Good movie. Oh, was it directed by Elizabeth Banks? I didn't even see that on there. Yeah, you're right. Directed by Elizabeth Banks. I did not know that. Well, there you go. Cool bit of info for you. Yeah. Anywho, there you go. Any questions before I go? Oh, Michelle Blasky. Oh, I just realized what's different about you. The beard is gone. Yeah, the beard's been gone for a few weeks now. A few weeks. I think I've done one of these shows without the beard. My last show, which was a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, I always shave the beard in like late March when spring hits because it gets too hot for it. It's a winter thing. The beard is a winter thing for me. I don't mind it. Yeah. It keeps me warm during the winter. Obviously, if I lived down in Texas, which is where I spent some time last year, if I lived down there, I probably wouldn't bother growing out the beard. Probably. I might grow out a little bit of facial hair here and there, just so I don't always look the same. You know, I've done stuff like the mutton chops, and I've done the little, what do you call the little goatee? Little goatee? I don't know. I've never done like the Fu Manchu type mustache or anything like that. I once did try the Charlie Chaplin mustache, and that lasted all of about 2 hours. Charlie Chaplin mustache. Icon, and everybody yelled at me for it and mocked me and insulted me just because I had a little Charlie Chaplin. He's an icon. Why on earth were they mocking me? Why on earth were they calling me a fascist and stuff like that just for that mustache? Why? I don't get it. All right. I think we've gone on long. I don't know unless you guys have some actual questions. Well, you know why, Steve. Yeah. But you know what, though? Doesn't this kind of suck, though? I mean, I'll be honest. I don't really think that's a cool look. But should we ban that look because of one person? You know, again, Charlie Chaplin was an icon, had that mustache. But what do we think? Who do we always think about when we see that mustache? You know, somebody goes around walking around with that mustache today, they'll call you a Nazi. You know, they won't think, oh, you're a fan of Charlie Chaplin. They'll think you're a frickin' Nazi. Well, the man just ruined a mustache for everybody. It's not the mustache's fault. You hate the guy, not the mustache. You know, and now it's the same with names. You know, you don't dare name your kid Adolf, right? You don't dare name. There's nothing wrong with the name itself, but who's going to name their kid Adolf? I bet before Hitler, there was lots of Adolfs in the world. You know, he ruined that name for everybody. I'm sure a lot of bad people have ruined certain names for people. How do we get onto this topic, by the way? Judas is another one. Judas, great name. Man, I'd love to be able to name my kid that, but I'd get so much crap if I would. But I think the name sounds kind of cool. But I'd be an asshole if I did that. If I even named a pet Judas, I'd be crucified, so to speak. Oh, man. You can't win. But they're just names, people. They're just names. How did I get on this topic? Do you guys have any real questions? Just wear the hat, LOL. I know. Well, that other dude was icon to sickos, you know. Okay, yeah, I know. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, this has been fun chatting. You're not going to win that fight, sir. Well, probably not. But it's my opinion. I think Judas is a cool name. I was going to say that. I think that's a cool name. But it just sounds cool to me. Just to say it. I'll get ridiculed. I'm just gonna change my name to Judas just to spite people. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. Why would I ever change my name when my name is Steve? It's like the coolest name of all time. Steve. Stiff Steve, right? No. Hey, Judas Priest is my favorite band. There you go. They're on to something. I love me some Judas Priest. They're not my favorite band or anything, but I do like. They were game changers in the world of metal. Yeah, they definitely were. Cannot deny that. Anyways, folks, I think that's it. Unless you guys got some questions. No questions. No questions. No questions for me in 3, and in 2, and in 1, and I think that's about it. There you go. You guys were awesome tonight. It was fun to chat about classic 80s horror film, The Burning. What do you think of The Burning? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it just another 80s film? I dig the film. But, it's still not something I watch that often, but I dig it. So, before I go, just make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. I'm sure most of you probably have. But hit that like button regardless. And we'll see you in the next one. I will try to do this a little bit more often, guys. And I'm going to try to get guests on a little more often. I've had my share of guests on, though. But I'd like to have more. Yeah. I've had Michelle on. I think I've had John on. I think so. I think John's been on my channel before. Pretty sure. Anybody else I've had on that's in the chat tonight? Maybe not. I don't know. Joe, I haven't had Joe. Haven't had Pupudas. No. Okay, anyways, guys. You guys have yourselves a good night, and see you next time. Take it easy, guys. Ooh, yeah.